welcome to Chef Henry Kitchen. Today we are making real Jamaican rum cake, also known as black cake. Moist, rich and full of that real island flavor. Let's make it together. Right people, wanna agree? So I wanna come, who the I back? Come to the front right now. This recipe begin now. Open your cupboard and your fridge, grab your ingredients and let's make this recipe. This time I'm gonna give you all the ingredients, but I'm gonna do it in cups and pounds and what equivalent to both. Rum and red label wine out of the way. Let's get started. I'm gonna start by blending the fruit, and I have my fruit soaking from last year, and I'm gonna tell you what's inside there. I'm using 1 cup of raisin, 2 cups of prune, 1 cup of cherry, and 1 cup of mixed peel, and also 1 cup of rum and 1.5 cup of red label wine. That's what the fruit is soaking in from last year, so it's good to soak your fruit. And I give that in the cup measurement. So I'm gonna add all of this mixture into the blender. Making Jamaican rum cake known as black cake, you want the blender to get drunk first. So I'm gonna start blending. The blending is complete and the mixture is smooth. We're just gonna set this out of the way. So that's one step. And this recipe, it's a 2-pound recipe and it calls for 16 eggs. I'm gonna break all the eggs into this bowl and then we're gonna separate the high. And guys, I want you all to shout out to my auntie. She played a part in this Jamaican cake recipe. Auntie Angela, big up yourself. We're gonna try to get these part out. We are removing the eye from the egg, and this is the eyes. You want to remove it at all times. Set this back in one of the shells. We don't want that inside there, so we're gonna remove all of these. And all the Jamaican that's watching right now should know this part. We get the eyes removed. I'm gonna set the eggs out of the way. Time to cream the butter and sugar together. Now I'm gonna add 4 cups of butter, and that's equal to 2 pounds of butter. So one of these is 1 cup of butter. So I'm gonna add the butter into my mixer. I like to use a knife, cut the butter, just make it go down, just cut it up so it's easy to work, just like that. And also I'm gonna set the mixer all the way down, and I'm gonna start softening the butter before I add the sugar. I'm gonna tilt back. I'm gonna add the sugar, and this is 2 pounds of sugar, which is 4 cups of sugar. I am going to add the sugar into the mixer with the butter. Gently pour it in. And you know when you're eating a piece of cake and that it's smooth? I'm gonna fluff this so it gets smooth. So you start out with low and you're gonna take your time to work it up to speed. I wanna place the cover on before I speed it all the way up. Cream in butter and sugar, take a time. So now I push it down. And how you can tell, that's the butter and sugar cream together. It's going to show in this cream color. Okay, bring this back up, remove my cover. That's what you're looking for. That nice cream together. That's going to make the cake smooth and fluffy. Now I'm going to add the eggs. And you're not going to add all of the eggs, you're going to add some at a time. We're going to continue adding some. And also, I'm going to start removing the sides. I'm going to add the rest. Now I finish adding the eggs and I get it fluffy. You don't want to overdo it. Then you're going to add air into the mixture. You want it to be nice and fluffy. I'm going to remove the cover. We finish with this. And this is our smooth mixture. So I'm gonna get this out of the way and I will see you guys for the next step. Time to add all the dry ingredients together so we can sift it so we get all the rough particle out. In this ramekin, I have 7 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm gonna add it into the flour. 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon powder. And 1 teaspoon of allspice. And we're gonna use a spoon to mix it in. And I forgot to mention how much flour I'm using. 2 pounds of flour, that's equal to 5 cups. I weigh everything. As soon as we get this mix in, we're gonna start sifting. And I'm telling you, the aroma, guys, this have to share to all of your family members. All of them, all of them. You're baking with a pro chef. Add the little bit of flour now. The flour is done. Now for the fruits. We're gonna incorporate some rose water, some vanilla, and some almond. So I'm gonna use a teaspoon measurement. 1 teaspoon of almond, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of rose water. Grab an wooden spoon, one is inside there, and I'm going to use this to mix. And also we're going to add more wine to this. You don't want this mixture to be thick. So as soon as we start to incorporate the fruits into the mix, we're going to add some wine. Hey neighbor, are you smelling the aroma that's coming from the kitchen? You know what time it is. Now I'm going to add the fruit mixture. And you want to get all of that fruit inside the mix. And to get all of the fruits, we're going to add half a cup of red label wine. Just like that. That's good enough. Close the bottle, and I'm going to start mixing. Now for browning. I'm going to show you what brand of browning I use. This is the brand Grace Browning / Caramel. We're going to add some, and this is just for color preference. The more browning you add, is the darker the cake gonna be. We are going to use the whole bottle of browning, but I just choose to add some as I go. And I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna add more. And we're gonna mix that in. If you notice, the color is changing as we go. We're gonna add some more browning. One time, when you add browning to like cake batter, you have to have caution when you're adding browning back then. Now it's like getting lighter and lighter, I don't know why. I added enough browning to achieve this color, and I will add the rest of browning when I'm adding the rum and the wine into the batter. You don't want to keep doing mixing this out. We're going to start folding the flour into the batter. And also I have the oven preheating at 350 degrees. So for the flour, when you're adding the flour, you're gonna add a small amount and you're gonna do cut and fold until you get all of this flour incorporated into the batter. And I'm gonna show you cut and fold. By adding in the flour, you're gonna start to see the color change, because now the browning have something substantial to start bringing out that color. More flour. like to get all the flour from the side, so we're gonna have dry packet inside the mix. The rest of flour. Now for more wine. We don't want the mixture to be stiff, so this is what? Half a cup. And I know what somebody just look at me and they're like watching, you know, that guy that you just see watching and not saying anything. And I know what that person is saying, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna guess correct what that person is saying. He saw every ingredient I added in this mix. I'm gonna read his mind in a minute. Now I'm gonna tell you when I read that person's mind. I'm a mind reader. I'm gonna tell you what that guy was thinking when he saw everything he watched from the sideline. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm gonna add the rum and the wine and also the rest of browning. 1 cup of wine and half cup of rum. And also we're gonna add more browning. I'm going to add half a cup of the wine and rum mixture into the batter, and I'm going to mix it in. Cut and fold, and the extra browning that I added is going to add more color, because when you add rum and wine to the cake, it starts to show the color is off. So that's why I had the rest of browning. And I save the rest of rum and wine, and this is what I'm going to use to baste the cake when it comes out of the oven. Remember, browning will make it bitter if you add too much. Now I finish mixing the butter. I'm gonna get baking tin, pan, same thing. I put some butter inside here and I'm just gonna rub it all around to get this nice and greased. I don't know how many baking tin this cake will take up, so I have all of the army out to fight this cake battle. Over these ones, I have all the baking tin well greased up. Time to pour the butter. I am using a ladle so I don't create a mess. I remember when I was a kid and they were making cake. I always want to grow up to do the same thing. When they give you these to go cleaning, you have to wash up all of these. Your finger go wild. Get rid of that. Now all of these are filled. Just give it a shake to ensure it's not all the way down and smooth. 5 tin. It's time to add them inside the oven. And we're gonna set our timer for 1 hour. So you want to make it bake for an hour on the cake. So I'm going to start adding these inside the oven. The oven is closed, guys, so I'm gonna take these gloves off. And this place smells like cake. But this black cake recipe, you don't want to resist. So guys, set the timer. See you in an hour. We're gonna check on the cake. I bake the cakes for 1 hour. It takes 1 hour to bake these 3 when you have these type of baking tin. There's 2 more inside the oven, and I think I pour those one too thick. So those one, I just give them another 30 minutes. So when they are done, they're done. So I have my 1/4 cup of wine and rum mixed together. And I have my brush, and I'm just gonna brush it on to keep the cake moist. You don't want the cake to cool down before this, okay? You don't want it to sink. And I've been doing this for a while. And Christmas is not Christmas without this cake and the menu. And now you can bake this cake anytime now, and just know, every morning you wake up, you just have to just spray some of the wine and rum onto this cake, and it can stay out for a long period of time. I want to cut this, but I'm going to tell you, it's not nice to take the cake from the oven and just eat the hot cake. It can cause an upset stomach because the cake is hot. So I'm going to give these time to cool down, and this is what you call a rum cake when it's nice and moist, soaking in rum and wine. I'm gonna let these cool down before I cut a slice. Until then, the rest of cake will be out of the oven. Now the cake is cooled, and I remove cake from the baking tin, and I also remove the next 2 cake that was in the oven. If you pour it thick, just like this one, it's gonna take 1 hour and 20 minutes to bake it when it's this thick. But if you pour it into a smaller baking tin and it's look like this one, it take 1 hour at 350 degrees. That's a perfect baking temperature. Depends on your oven. So always remember this. And no further ado, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna cut a slice. Soft. That's the key. I am Chef Henry. They said go big or go home. See that? Check it out. I'm gonna go in for the taste test. Somebody getting drunk tonight. Guys, you don't want your cake to be too dry. This is the right texture for a Christmas cake. And I show you how to make it. And guys, go and make this cake and share with a friend, and make sure this Christmas you have this real black cake recipe on your table. And guys, share this video with everyone, and remember again to say thank you in the comment section to my auntie Angela again for this amazing recipe. So guys, see you on the next one, and remember, Chef Henry is out.